Good morning. Today's discussion is going to be about shop air and what I do to keep the moisture out for running my plasma cutter, as well as I've painted a couple cars in here. You really don't need to spend a lot of money. I've seen a lot of the copper manifolds with the valves on the bottom mounted to walls. Those work great with the price of copper and all that, and the amount of use that I use my air compressor in here with the plasma cutter and painting just doesn't justify that expense. I've had this set up here for about 2 years. And it's worked very well. So I don't want this to be a rambling video. So I'll just get to it and show you what I got and what I use it for. So this is my air compressor setup. I bought this particular air compressor in the early 90s. It's actually when they were still made in the USA. It's been flawless over the years. So what I did on the bottom was I added an automatic drain. Most of us are very bad about draining the water out of our air compressors, especially if it's just like a home shop and you really don't use them that much. So this kind of automates that process. I have it set for like every 45 minutes when it's plugged in. The only time I really plug it in is when I'm actually using the air compressor. So I'll just cycle it once so you can get the idea of how it works. So I just have the water draining into a coffee can, actually a plastic coffee can with a couple vent holes in the front. A lot of folks will run these drains out the side of the garage and all of that. So someone else also asked me why I have two regulators here of different sizes. The bottom is a 1/2-inch regulator. The top is a 3/8. The reason I have the 1/2-inch, and I will show you the difference in the size here. I'll bleed the air off here in just a minute so I can do that. Is I have a motorhome and I use this 1-inch drive tool to remove the wheels. I believe this particular model puts out 2,000 foot-pounds. With the size of this, you can see the difference in the quick connect there in size. A 3/8 inch line just will not feed that, right? So I have these two because once I had a regulator that failed and I had to stop the project and go out and buy another one. I said that would never happen again. This long 100-foot air hose that's there, I typically run out to my RV port where I also have a 11,000 pound 4-post lift out there with a air jack. My eventual plan is to run underground compressed air out there. It's about 75 feet away. So the air comes out of the main air comes out of this 1/2-inch regulator, and I just have a on and off valve. As you can see, it's in the off position. I don't have any major leaks in the system. I leave it just like this, turned off. And typically I will lose maybe 10 psi off of this gauge in a week. So it goes into this Max Line half-inch system. I purchased that off of Amazon a couple years ago. I'll leave a link in the description. It's a pretty good product. So I am getting drying here, of course. There's nothing in there now. It goes into this manifold and comes out. One line goes to this half-inch reel. Again, I had this large reel here with a adapter so I can, do air and tires and stuff like this. But the purpose of this large air reel, again, is running this thing. That's primary. So I dry the air down there. I have max air outlets here and on the other side over there. So as you can see, these max airs have, or max line, I should say, has a little lever there. The purpose of that lever is to bleed off moisture. And there's zero moisture on my hands. So most people don't use a lot of compressed air anymore because everybody has these things, right? So the air ratchets and all that, are almost dinosaurs at this point. But if you're running a plasma cutter, and this here is the Cut60 by Primeweld, which is a great machine. Plasma cutters have to have the driest air possible. Otherwise, the consumables on the tips won't last very long at all if you get any moisture in the system. So on the back of my plasma cutter, I have the motor guard system. And the way the motor guard system works is on the inside, and I'm going to do my best to do this one-handed, and I'm sure it's going to fall, but that's fine. That's fine. Has what looks like a roll of toilet paper in it. That's actually your drying media, if you will. And the old timers in paint shops, instead of buying replacements, just to actually use a roll of toilet paper. I've never done that. I do have a spare that I haven't used. So the two cars that I painted in here, I painted my son's Pontiac Vibe in here, which is the same thing as a Toyota Matrix, and also a dune buggy for a friend of mine, right? So when I'm using my paint gun, which also requires, as you can imagine, dry air, right? I just run air into here and run the paint gun off of the motor guard. So no issues with air or trash in the paint gun or in the plasma cutter. If you're interested in this plasma cutter, I will leave a link in the description of this video. A friend of mine just ordered one from their Black Friday sale. This will cut 3/4 inch steel plate. It's an amazing machine. Do you really need one? I can't speak for you. Do I need one? Absolutely not. Everything that I cut, I could do it with the angle grinder, but it sure is nice. If you're interested in the paint system I use, it is the 3M system, right? Which is one gun for everything. You just change out the tips. There is no real gun cleaning. When you're done painting, you just take a little paint gun cleaner and clean the tip itself. 3M says that you can use those tips for up to 25 uses. So of course I'll never use that, but if you are a hobbyist painter like I am, it's much more affordable than having 4 or 5 different paint guns, you know, for primer and sealer and clear and base coat. So I will leave a link in the description for that as well. If anybody has any question about my air setup, again, I made this for video primarily for a friend of mine who is setting up his shop air, who just ordered a plasma cutter. So again, it's a very simple setup. I do like the fact that you can drain water off at the air points, which is great. This system also comes, this is the 1/2 inch system, in 3/4 inch, which I thought about buying, but it really is just too much. So when I run air out to the RV port, I may do that in 3/4 inch. I do have an extra, one extra of the air outputs that I'm going to put over there. So again, if you have any questions on any of the equipment here, just drop it down into the comments. Hopefully this helps someone. And for my friend Travis, I'll send you a link to this video after it's up. Thank you.